Hey YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. So we recently just did a forward programming, real quick, easy to understand series where you followed along, and we went from A to Safe Select through forward programming. And we're going to continue to do videos about that, like more in depth in each little area. But I get these questions quite a bit, like a lot, and people say, what would happen if I take let's say an AR-637 receiver out of my bind and fly airplane and I put it into another one? And then they also say, but I'll make sure that all the control surfaces, are working right. They say, what will happen? Will it work? Will it fly? And the answer is it will probably fly. How good? I don't know. But you have to mount the receiver just right. And I figure what better way to show you guys on our demonstration plane on what I mean about mounting it the exact same way that you took it out of the plane. That's why when we were doing our forward programming, easy to follow along series, when we were in the first time safe setup, it had us check the orientation of the receiver. It wanted to know which way exactly it was facing. It asked us to lift the tail of the airplane up if it was a tail dragger, so we could figure out exactly when the receiver was in level flight. Even if the receiver was mounted a little down and a little rolled to the right, it wanted us to have the airplane perfect level flight, and then we captured the attitude. So even though the receiver might be off a little bit, the airplane was in level flight, and then we captured the attitude. So therefore it knew that when the receiver's in this position and the person turns on Safe Select, to make the plane fly in level flight. So if you took a 637 out of one plane and put it into another one, the gains will probably be different. The gains are the sensitivity to how much it helps you. There's gains for Safe Select, and there's gains for the AS3X, and the AS3X is separate from Safe. The AS3X is for stability, for wind, and the Safe Select is for self-leveling, or the other flight mode, angle demand. It only allows you to go so far, roll so far, or pitch up and down so far. But when you let off the sticks, it won't self-level. So you can kind of do a beginner, intermediate, advanced mode if you set it up that way. So depending on the gains in the plane that you took it out of and the plane that you're putting it in, being that the gain sensitivity is how much it helps you or helps the plane, it could be completely different. Or you might get lucky and they're similar. Another part of the forward programming, easy to follow along series we did, is when we were figuring out the 1x, 2x, or 4x for the AS3X gains. And in the manual it says if you have this certain airplane, you choose 1x. If you have this plane, choose 2x. If you have this plane, choose 4x. You don't know by taking a receiver from one plane and putting it in the other what X it was set at. We don't know unless you had programmed it yourself. So, I think a jet was a 1X, and then something like the Apprentice would be a 4X. If you took your receiver out of a Apprentice and put it in a jet, the gains would be way off. It would be bad. Plus, you would have to mount the receiver just perfect. And there's other programming that goes into those receivers in the bind and flies that we may not know. And it could be how far the travel is for the for the control surfaces. There could be some in some planes there could be some mixes added in that we don't know about. The more throttle you give it, the more it climbs up a little bit. I mean, there could be some other stuff in there that you just don't know. And when putting it in another plane could probably hurt you. A long time ago, the first safe receiver was actually name brand E-Flight, and it came in the first Apprentice, and it was a 5-channel, and it had Safe Select, the intermediate and advanced, 3 different modes. I personally took that receiver out of an Apprentice and I put it in a 4-stroke glow balsa plane, and I mounted the receiver exactly like it was in the Apprentice. And then you can't reverse the control surface direction, because the AS3X and the Safe Select would not be reversed. So I bought servo reversers, and it actually worked. It flew good for several flights. But hey, let me grab the test plane, and then we'll go through the control surfaces with the receiver mounted how it is, and then we'll pick it up and rotate it, and I'll just show you, what happens if it's not mounted the exact same. So let me grab it. Sit tight. If you want to win a jet like this, all you have to do is subscribe. Click the like button and leave a comment, and then ring the bell so you don't miss my next video. At 1,000 subscribers, we gave this jet away. At 5,000, we're going to give another one. I don't know what it is yet. We'll see when that time comes. So hey, subscribe, guys. Happy flying. Okay, this is our demo plane. Right now, everything is set up how it should be, because we just finished setting this up in our forward programming, easy to follow along series. So let's turn our airplane on first. We'll run through the control surfaces and see how everything's acting like it should. And then we'll, pretend that we took the receiver out of this plane and put it in another one. So the transmitter is on, and we'll turn our plane on, and you'll see the double dances because of Safe Select. The little blue flag represents the throttle. All right, so if we move our right aileron stick to the right, the green aileron will go up. If we move it to the left, left aileron goes up. If we pull back on the stick, the elevator goes up. We push forward, elevator goes down. We go left on the rudder, rudder goes left. Pretend like you're making a left turn. Right on the rudder, rudder goes right, just like a right turn, like a forklift or a boat. And this is Safe Select, and this is just AS3X. We'll leave it in just AS3X for a second. And the AS3X is for wind and stability. Let's say a gust of wind blew the left wing up. So the left wing comes up, the red aileron should go up to counteract the wind. All right. If a gust of wind blows the tail up, the elevator will go up to counteract the gust of wind. So everything is working like it should. The gains are a little high in the elevator for this particular demo plane. We'll turn on Safe Select, and if it was upside down, the ailerons are trying to right side the plane up. So everything is working like it should. If a gust of wind blew the right wing up, the aileron should go up to try to counteract the wind, and it does. So let's turn our plane off and the transmitter, and hey, we're going to take the receiver out of this plane and we're going to stick it into another one. And this is why it's so important to not do this, or if you did, mount it exactly how it came out. So right now our pins are facing to the rear, and just a little double-sided sticky tape here. We'll unstick it, and we will mount it with the pins to the front. And it's not all that much level. The receiver's kind of angled up to the front, and the pins are to the front now. So what happens if you take the receiver out of one and put it in another one? It's a bad idea. Don't do it. If you did, you would have to mount it the exact same way you took it out. Exactly. Level, side to side, front to back, and exactly how it was mounted. Pins to the front, pins to the rear. Was it on its side? Upside down. It's got to be exactly. So we'll turn on our transmitter. And then we'll turn on our plane. All right, we'll run through the control surfaces real quick. So if you move the aileron stick to the right, the green aileron will go up, and it does. Move to the left, red aileron goes up, and it does. Pull back on the stick, elevator goes up. Push forward, elevator goes down. Left on the rudder, rudder goes left. Right on the rudder, rudder goes right. Let's give it a little throttle to activate the AS3X. And we're just in AS3X mode. So, we're flying along, and a gust of wind blows this right wing up. The right green aileron should go up to counteract the wind, right? No, aileron's going down. So this wing gets blown up, aileron's going down. So that's backwards. But the control surface is right. You move the stick to the right, aileron goes up like it's supposed to. But the gyro is backwards because it's mounted differently. Elevator, a gust of wind blows the airplane up. The elevator should go up to counteract the wind. And it goes down. Gust of wind blows the tail of the plane up, and it goes down. Look at the rudder. A gust of wind blows the back of the plane that direction. The rudder should move that way to counteract the wind, and it does. The rudder's working correctly. So, that's why it's a bad idea to take the receiver out of one plane and put it in another one. But the good news is, guys, is that the smart receivers have enough memory inside of them to have two complete planes. So you can take your AR637 that came in your Timber X, and you can take that receiver out and put it in something else and program the receiver for something else. And then when you're tired of flying that plane, you can put it back in the Timber X and swap back from, we'll call it, one side to the other. The receiver has enough memory to have two separate planes in it. And we'll do many videos on that. So, that's all I got for this one, guys. Don't swap your receiver like that. But if you did, it'd have to be identical. And then maybe it would fly. Maybe. Depending on the gains. Alright, guys. Hey, thank you. Subscribe if you haven't. The thumbs up goes a long ways. And happy flying. Until next time, you'll see me here.